All right, ladies and gentlemen, if we are live, welcome to this slightly late broadcast of Olympus versus CITRIX in this official match setting of ours. We've got a 12v12 for you tonight between these two teams, which have been playing and practicing a bit recently, and both have some interesting recent acquisitions. So should be an interesting matchup here, as we just did get our first steal of the game from Two Insational, or Justin, who's one of the main cappers for Olympus. Obviously, there's some pretty big shakeups on the rosters of these teams, notably CITRIX running a couple of players who I don't believe have played in officials for them before, those being Mr. Bubdub and Yubao, both of whom were, at least at a time, some of the star talents on the Baguettes, and Yubao also known for his tournament performance against Olympus when he was part of Ad Fundum, however, briefly. On the other side of things, there's some interesting pickups from the side of Olympus. They've brought Carowinds back. They've brought Dave over from Delta Force and Ad Fundum before that. And they've also picked up Trenny, who I believe is playing Archer for them this game. So while it's been a fairly slow-paced game for the first couple of minutes here, we do have some pretty interesting storylines to pay attention to. It'll also be interesting to see what Olympus decides to run on offense. They do have a number of players who can play pretty capably and perhaps show us a bit of a different look than what we saw from Olympus's offense in the tournament. Notably here, we've got the Fatal Best being targeted by Saiyan and Dave. Does go down quite quickly before making it across mid. And then Flays and Bub are already back on their way across mid, with Fatal trailing slightly behind. Notable for CITRIX is the fact that Wolfie98 is playing on Archer, Wolfie being a player who's mostly been known for his ninja defense of late, but has recently decided to change it up, playing some offense, playing some Archer, doing whatever. I know that also in different situations, CITRIX have played College Degree on Archer, so we may see Wolfie switch off to a different role once American Fort is done, depending on what CITRIX decide to do. Lastly, there is one other addition to the offense here for CITRIX, which has been almost completely reworked. Fivehead is playing soldier offense for the team as well. Very long-time veteran and known for playing that role, although he does get picked off at mid by Trenny there, so not the hottest start of yet for the long-time Ad Fundum, Solar Eclipse, Totally Not Solar Eclipse, Genetic, and more player. So, we are about 4 minutes into the game here with that introduction wrapped up. Plenty going on, so let's try and pick things up here with the defense here for the side of Olympus. Trenny has knocked Pudgy into the water here, and although there isn't further pressure on her of yet, it does look like they are looking to find the medic here to try and get her picked up across the map. However, CITRIX doing more or less the right thing here and running across the middle when the Archer shows himself in the middle of the map. That makes it much more difficult for the Archer to find easy headshots, and it's going to allow Flays, amongst other players, into the flag room here, with Bubdub coming over the top. Unfortunately, Flays decided to go in a little bit early, so he's not really going to be there to distract, but Fivehead gets a steal anyways. Does get finished off by the Frenzy from Carowinds, but actually did make it out of the flag room there, despite the fact that there wasn't really a distraction, making things easier for him. There is also a Ninja here in the flag room. Flays has come back on Ninja to try and support Bub's steal, but Bub has been found out, as has Fatal Best, and I believe the damage is just going to be enough to take both of them out. On the other side of things, Justin, or Two-Sational, has stolen CITRIX's flag. Does go down fairly quickly to College Degree, playing the Ninja on this map and already roaming back out. Notable for CITRIX is that they're playing Avedis on Pyro with Yami on heavy defense here. I know we've seen Yami on the Assassin before. I mean, sorry, that's Krizzle. I'm apparently blind, so you can actually just take that point away. Yami is, in fact, playing on the Assassin here, and Krizzle is going to get some damage on Participated at mid, actually going to be able to finish the kill after Yami got a bunch of the initial damage. I know I saw a comment earlier from Avedis in CITRIX's team chat that they were going to look to target the elf across the map, and unfortunately for Olympus, it seems that Participated is the one who's picked up that role. He can definitely PvP, but it's going to be a very rough match for him if CITRIX does in fact stick to their plan of targeting the elf. Elsewhere on the offense for Olympus, we do have Aussie trying to cross the map here as Soldier, knocked back a bit by Krizzle, but he's going to be crossing over the bridge here and attacked by Yami and Krizzle while trying to make it to the flag rim. He's decided to fight, and that's allowed a lot of pressure to get on him, but does also allow a steal from Justin, as the roaming was not actually helping the flag rim out. Justin may actually make it up to the sponge here, but Avedis predicts his route and cuts him off with the frenzy. What was looking like a pretty nice opportunity there for the two soldiers of Olympus snuffed out. On the other side of things, Mario is a bit disconnected from the rest of his team as Sayo gets a steal here. Mario also did take some damage. They may look for the pass, but a ninja is there. The support, however, from Mario enough to kill College Degree before Sayo is able to take too much damage. Another ninja is purling on him, but Food Court is there to support Sayo, the chemist, with a restore. And because he's not sprint jumping, he's not able to be taken off the map by the additional ninja there. This looks pretty good for Olympus already, and while Chemist has definitely been weakened as a capping class, with only a couple ninjas being able to catch up and get onto him, I mean, this looks like a surefire capture if we don't get a steal here from College Degree. College does go down before being able to pick up the flag, and we have an early 1-0 lead for Olympus. So already what we saw there was that CITRIX were potentially putting a bit too much damage into Aussie crossing the map. He's traditionally played a role where he's not the main capper, but he's someone who goes on offense to kill people and sponge pressure. And by doing so, what he's able to do is prevent more damage from going on to other players who take sneakier routes that are, less through the middle of the map and harder to find out, and allows them to reach the flag room with full health. Now, Food Court here is going to be targeted by College Degree crossing the map, but he's not even going to stake here, allowing his regen to heal off the damage from the ninja and keeping him at fuller health. We did see a steal on the other side from Yubao, and we'll check out the CITRIX offense here in a minute, but Food Court and the rest of Olympus have started off on a bit of a stronger foot, I think it's fair to say. Krizzle is chasing down Food Court here. He's also been caught by his own web, by Yubao, by College Degree. I mean, yeah, he's just out of chances there and will go down. There is going to be a ninja going into the flag room here. This is our good friend Participated, trying to clear Avedis out of the way. He's been set on fire, but he does have that fire res, so receiving some good buffs there from the rest of his team. Avedis on the flagpole with support from Rave, but Rave actually does find out the ninja and takes him down. So we're going to transition over here to CITRIX's offense, who again are pushing through mid to try and make Trendy's life a little more difficult. But we do see Fatal Best go down already. Flaze as well has been singled out, and Pudgy has been separated from the rest of her support. Pudgy being pressured by Dave, while Bubdub on the other side of things does try to cross over to the top of the flag rim. Bub has been found out as well. Dave is pressuring him pretty hard, but also taking a lot of damage, purling up and down, and is actually only on half of a heart himself. Fivehead is alive above the flag room. We do see a steal there briefly from Flaze, but he will go down. Unfortunately, the core flag room there for the side of Olympus hasn't really been pressured, and the approach of running it down mid has definitely brought CITRIX's offense through the heart of the roaming defense from Olympus. And so far, it looks like they're really being able to split up this little bit of a core that CITRIX offense tries to run. They're already putting two ninjas on Fatal Best crossing the map. He's not known to be the strongest PvPer, so perhaps we're seeing Olympus really try to take advantage of that, because the elf is so important for setting up the rest of CITRIX's offense going into the flag room. If they're able to just get rid of the water element every time, then they don't actually have too much to worry about, since Carowinds is a relatively strong pyro himself. So, we are going to see another reset for the offense of CITRIX here, regrouping and taking the sponge. We are going to see Bub actually on the elf now. They're switching up their approach here a little bit. Bub, perhaps known to be a stronger PvPer, and takes out Dave quite quickly there. He's now stacking with Flaze crossing the middle of the map, while Five takes an alternate route. However, we do have a steal from Sayo on the other side of things. Sayo, or Alaska, on Chemist, being pressured by Yubao. Yubao does take the fight pretty close to him. However, we do have a nice headshot coming through from Trenny. Trenny was pressured. From Wolfie. Wolfie was pressured by Trenny as well as the soldier, but did manage to get that headshot through. We do have a steal on the other side from Flays, presumably also on Chemist. He has made it over to the sponge, but there are so many ninjas on him. He will go down, and there will be a backup steal here, however, from Fatal Best. 2 elves now from CITRIX. And Fatal is making his way over to the medic, does have regen, but not the restore yet, and is taking a lot of damage despite the regen. Will go down, but the 2 elves perhaps making it a little more difficult for Olympus to find an easy target to focus down. Presumably they can still go after Fatal Best, but if they do, I mean, Bub's still going to be around on Elf, making things just as difficult for the flag room. We'll have to see if this approach from CITRIX, this new approach, takes effect and starts to change the way the game goes. But this is still definitely a map that CITRIX has picked, so you would hope, for their sake, that they don't actually end up losing this map right away. Now, we are going to see Avedis and Rave still in the flag room here. Rave using a tactic that we see some medics do, where he's, or had up until this point, webbed the floor below him to prevent knockback. Does make it difficult for your teammates in the flag room sometimes, but in this case, it looks like he's just going to put webs down to try and prevent potential offense players from getting in. Looks like, however, they've mopped up the Olympus offense quite nicely, the roaming defense for CITRIX, that is. And a nice headshot from Wolfie there takes out the soldier crossing the map again. Sayo is going to be found by College Degree and Yami, potentially a third ninja in Yubao. But we do have a steal from Flays on the other side that we have to attend to first. Flays again getting the steal on Chemist here, and both teams definitely having a good shot at beating the Pyro with their Chemists. He does have support from Mr. Bubdub and is taking the Far Sponge just as Sayo did earlier on. He does have a medic now as well, and it's really going to be up to the Archer and the ninjas slowing here to allow the rest of the team to catch up and maybe stop this capture. Looks like the Pyro, Carowinds, has gotten in front, but Pudgy's actually doing a fairly good job knocking the Pyro away. However, Evan is able to just take Flays right off the map, and that's going to be the end of that. Olympus is roaming, giving up a strong steal, I think it's fair to say, but actually doing a good job of slowing the Chemist down, which is, I think, the right approach to take against it, and allow the rest of the team to catch up and take advantage of its lack of vertical mobility. So, we do have Trenny on half a heart here, trying to pressure CITRIX's offense as they cross. Looks like he almost has a shot on Pudgy here, but she's going to be able to duck out of the way. Wolfie now pressuring Trenny, and, well, if Trenny gets spotted out here by the medic on half a heart, Pudgy can really just get rid of him right off the bat, but we'll have to see if she notices. On the other side of things, we do have Color going into the flag room, Color on Soldier here, being attacked by the entirety of the roaming there. And unfortunately, no one in position to steal with that many people pressuring the one soldier. Sayo does have a steal on the other side, presumably as Chemist again. He's not made it very far yet and will be taken down inside the flag room. So far, both defenses doing a pretty good job here on American Fort 1, but with the early capture from Olympus, that's only going to favor them as the timer continues to run down. Remember, we're going to an Olympus map pick after this. That's going to be Waitomo Caves, a map that they've practiced quite a bit over the years. And that's a map that, you know, obviously not an insurmountable edge for them. They obviously did lose it to Ad Fundum in the 2020 tournament not too long ago. But a map that they definitely prefer playing, whereas this one is meant for CITRIX's Elf offense, usually. So, Flays does have a steal on the back end. He's trying to look for the sponge. Dave is quite low health behind him, only half a heart now, but Flays does get the sponge. However, Flays himself is quite low. Only 2 heal potions left. His medic is not quite there yet, and while he's taking this very nice route across the trees, in fact, he's made it to the bridge, he is still not in a position where he's been healed. We do see some of the offense reroute there from the side of Olympus, and they are able to just pick up the flag. It looked like CITRIX had an opportunity to get the pick up there, but we do have a steal from Bub. This time Bub is going to be going out. Will be picked up by Dantard, also known as Rhodes. And the threat there is stopped. Was a very good opportunity there, though, for CITRIX. Food Court, the medic does have a steal on the other side here, and he has made it up, but has been webbed, presumably by Rave, and taken down. We do have another player in that flag room, but they're picked up before I'm able to even see who they are. And we are back to a low state. CITRIX definitely threatening on offense, but the roaming from Olympus and the recovery able to do just enough so far to be able to keep things in a 1-0 advantage for them. CITRIX would definitely love to pick up at least one capture here in the next 4 minutes. College Degree is on offense here now, trying to clear Carowinds out of the way for the rest of the offense to steal. Flaze is going to end up picking up, and again, this Chemist isn't quite as tanky as it used to be, but still able to get steals. Also, Bub getting a steal does get taken quite low, though, and despite making it out of the flag room proper, he isn't quite able to make the sponge and maybe give himself a chance of reaching the medic. So, very action-packed game so far. We are seeing Wolfie play a more defensive position here, trying to take out Sayo, but he's not going to be able to hit him before he reaches the flag room. Sayo, however, ambushed and picked up right away on the corner of the flag room by Avedis. Avedis definitely a pyro known for taking more aggressive angles and not just hugging the flag post. It does mean that people can sometimes get the jump on him by coming in from an alternate angle while he's focused on one particular player, but also can result in some very quick cleanup kills the way he got Sayo there. So we are going to see Color on the top of Olympus's flag room here, baiting some pressure over to him, but he's actually going to make it to the flag room at the same time as Bub here, presenting a double threat for the steal. Color hadn't taken too much damage, and though he does get frenzied here, he did actually have a decent chance at being able to steal and get up to the sponge there. So with 2 minutes 40 seconds left, we already see Fatal Best make it back across the map, perhaps a bit ahead of the rest of his offense, unfortunately. So I think he's just going to be found out here, killed by the assassin even, before he's really able to sync up with the rest of his offense. And that could actually hurt CITRIX here, as losing the elf too early means there are many more players available on the side of Olympus to just roam out and find exposed players. So far, Olympus actually doing a very good job of splitting up CITRIX's core here, although Fatal Best has actually made it back quite quickly. And the rest, well, he does get taken down by Dave inside the flag room, but the rest of CITRIX does get a good opportunity to go in there while they are still being pressured. However, we do have a steal already halfway across the map from Justin. Justin being knocked further back in by Yubao, and Flaze and Krizzle are there to try and slow him down. He's already quite low, 1.5 hearts here. Not even that now. But he does get the medic while sitting on 3.5 hearts. Does get the restore, and I believe this should be a second capture for Olympus. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see how that play develops, but Justin getting what could be the dagger here, putting Olympus 2-0 up with only 1.5 minutes left. Overall, Olympus has definitely been able to make their chances matter more so far. CITRIX definitely has had them, but unfortunately, even with this 2-elf setup, they haven't quite been able to finish the job. Olympus's Recov definitely doing a good job so far, although Fatal has a steal going out pretty far here. He's going to reach the sponge. He's going to be able to make it out towards mid. There is a medic behind him, but Olympus's recovery is going to reach him first. Regen is down, I believe not the restore yet, and there are just so many players there catching Fatal Best that he goes down before being able to do anything else. Bub is going to get a steal, but he's taken a fair amount of damage inside the flag room. Bub already making it out towards mid with multiple ninjas chasing him, but I don't believe he's going to have the medic there, and does go down eventually to the ninjas. Now with 30 seconds left, CITRIX is trying to do anything they can to get a steal here, to maybe claw a slight bit back in the cap differential game. Looks like they're going to go for a ninja steal, but Color is already super low, only 2.5 hearts at the time he reached the flag room. I think with 14 seconds left, it's going to be just a bit too late here, and Olympus will be able to win American Fort with a 2-0 advantage, taking CITRIX's map pick away from them. Very strong stuff from Olympus here. Their new roster definitely showing their potential. And while CITRIX definitely wasn't a pushover on this map by any means, you have to wonder what they'll be doing on Waitomo Caves, and maybe if they can be able to at least challenge Olympus there. It's definitely going to be an interesting situation. So already we do have our first set of stats here available. Notable, Dave went 9 kills to 61 deaths, but did still have a very big impact on the game, getting a fairly good amount of damage on Ninja. Also notable here is the Archer matchup. Both Archers getting pretty limited kills on this map. Wolfie98 was able to pick up 42, perhaps due to his familiarity with American Fort a bit more than Trenny, but Trenny was held to 26, and while that was a 26-8 marker, that is very limited impact for the Archer. It's definitely a tough map to play if you're not familiar with it, as the trees can be pretty intimidating if you don't know the exact angles that you're looking for to find headshots through them. But even with that Archer advantage, I think it's worth noting Olympus did look like the better team on that map. Perhaps not the only team generating chances, but generating ones at the very least that were more successful. Now, Olympus, we're going to see what they do here on offense, how they're starting out. So far, it looks like they've put in the name is Sam on Assassin now. We've seen them sub out Rhodes. So this is a player who's also definitely very much known for their Assassin abilities. Mr. Bubdub here on the side of CITRIX's offense has made it most of the way across the map, although he's now going to be picked up and pressured by Slurp, one of the longer tenured players here on Olympus and one known to be quite strong on Ninja. We do see CITRIX pocketing Pudgy with a Necro here, and Fatal Best does get an early steal, followed up by Bubdub, trying to make it out of the flag room. There was a steal from Justin on the other side, but he didn't make it very far, and Bub was able to make it past the Pyro, but taken down by the Assassinate from above from the name of Sam. Sayo does go down on the other side, and Color is trying to make his way out of the flag room as Chemist. Already a lot of good steals here from CITRIX. They were able to make it past the Pyro quite nicely on this map. Carowin's already pretty far away from the flag, and that's going to lead to a steal from Mr. Bubdub. Bub on Ninja does go down, but Fatal Best is able to pick up the flag pretty close there. Very good Ninja steal from Bub, taking advantage of the fact that Carowinds had chased well outside of the flag and the Ninja wasn't there to support either. And already CITRIX is able to take an early 1-0 lead. That is going to be CITRIX's Ninja cap, but still, it does do a good job for them, I think, of at least taking some momentum back from Olympus after what was, it turned out, a pretty dominant 2-0 map. Now, Dave does have a steal going across mid. He's also a Ninja, and he's made it relatively far himself. He's almost in the flag room, does make it over, and levels out the score immediately, telling CITRIX that anything they can do, he can do better. Dave making it all the way across the map himself as Ninja, presumably due to some regen support from the rest of his team. So very fast-paced map right off the bat, although that is going to remove both teams' Ninja caps for later on down the line. And now we get to take another look here at CITRIX and their offense. Color has been playing the Chemist, and Fatal Best is with him on the Elf. Presumably Color trying to support the Elf so he doesn't get picked off by the Ninjas quite as much. Dave, however, is going to look to single out Color, and with some help from Evan, they are actually going to take him out and allow Fatal Best to become easy prey. We do see Trenny taking shots from above, but we do have a steal from Mario, or participated, on Elf on the other side. He's made it up to mid already, and while he has been set on fire and isolated by the Ninjas, that's not a great sign there, because CITRIX are known to be, as they said earlier, looking for the Elf to try and prevent him from making his plays earlier across the map. Unfortunately, that's the only little tidbit of strategy I was able to glean from team chats on either side, so I may end up repeating it a little bit. But it'll be interesting to see if CITRIX are actually able to live up to their goal of pressuring Mario, as Wolfie does actually take him down with a headshot there. The Archer, so far, I think being a little more effective than Trenny, although, as I say that, Trenny takes him out from halfway across the map and is able to return to pressuring the rest of CITRIX's offense. Now, we do have Bub and Pudgy make it quite close to the flag room here, but they are going to be seen by the Pyro immediately. The Assassin coming in from behind Bub, but in fact, Color is the one to get the steal and make it away from the Frenzy on Chemist. Dave is going to slow him here and allow Carowinds to catch up on Pyro. Color already quite low, but there may be a backup steal opportunity here from the side of CITRIX. Unfortunately, Bub goes down before he's able to make it to the flag, and that just leaves Rave on Necro to try and get the backup steal. Not going to quite be enough there, but definitely a good attempt from the side of the CITRIX capper. Fatal Best also gets a quick steal there on Elf, but nothing doing, and we return to a 1-1 lull state, although one where both teams' offenses are getting good chances. Speaking of which, Sayo gets a steal and is out without taking much further damage here. He does have Aussie to protect him as well, which is going to make things difficult for the ninjas trying to get on him. However, Aussie gets knocked away for a second, and Yubao gets a very quick drop onto Alaska. The meme perhaps living up to his meme status in this circumstance. Mario's going to roam over and find Avedis here, not able to take him out, but at least enough to chunk his health down. Avedis only on one stake, although Rave is going to make it back over and heal him, switching off of the Necro momentarily. Mr. Bubdub has a steal on the other side, Bub being one of the stronger players here on mobility classes, but actually having switched to the heavy. He's being chased down by Sam, Carowinds, and Dave, but he's made it over to his medic support. If the Pyro can be kept away, the heavy, he can do quite a bit against ninjas. And the assassin here might find Bub. He's actually been singled out by the entirety of Olympus's roaming, and there really isn't any support for him. Bub taken off the map as perhaps the focus on the Pyro from his support, leading to his downfall. Mario does have a steal on the other side, but doesn't actually make it past the flagpole, and we are returning to an interesting state here. Also notable, Wolfie98 switching off of the Archer and returning to his team's defense as a ninja, playing a role that he's definitely a little bit more familiar with. Looks like Olympus is going for a bit of a bulkier offense setup here. Justin now on the Necro, and Food Court did receive the revival tag there. It's medic, but goes down anyways. There's just so much returning in the way of respawns, though, that this map, despite the fact that you do have some narrow chokes to get through, doesn't really favor bulky offense, and you have to wonder if CITRIX will be able to generate chances if they stay on this look. So, on the other side of things, we do see Fatal Best alongside support from Flaze and Bubdub try to reach the flag. Fatal, in fact, webbed there and left to hang helplessly as Bub goes down. Wins his way into another web. Looks like the webs in the flag room definitely making life very hard for that particular elf. But ultimately, CITRIX stifled there again. Olympus trying to make their way across the middle of the map. Mario has switched back over to the elf here and is immediately pressured by Wolfie, but able to win that fight. We do see Justin now on the heavy instead of the Necro, and Food Court has been singled out, unfortunately, as the heavies take a fight elsewhere. Looks like Participated gets found out by the Pyro and Avedis, but he doesn't have medic support as Aussie attacks him. Even with the frenzy, he's able to stay alive. And Avedis, despite having been taken down to a 0 stake 3 heart point there, is not going to go down, clutching up and getting the kill. We do have Flaze briefly get a steal there and try to drop for Color. Color not going to be able to make it over to the flag and will be running out towards mid. Perhaps should just reset here as he's only on 2 hearts. So, we do have another fight starting up at mid as the now bulkier roaming defense from CITRIX is going after and singling out Justin. Also worth noting on this map, we did talk about 5 playing for CITRIX earlier, but he has, in fact, been swapped out at some point. So we are seeing CITRIX play without 5 here. I believe I'm a bit late on that, as seemed to have happened a while ago. Now, we do see Food Court get singled out by the CITRIX defense here. Yubao chasing him with support from College Degree, and it looks like the medic is not going to be able to support the rest of his team on the way into the flag room. Aussie, on the other hand, seems to be trying to make his way over to the Pyro, but Dave gets a scout swap, taking the Pyro away from the flag and giving Sayo a chance to get the steal there. However, mopped up quite nicely by Yami, as well as with a little bit of support from the returning Pyro Avedis. Avedis also able to get the frenzy on Mario, who's still there as Chemist. We're seeing a lot of swaps from both offenses, I think it's fair to say, as they try to find a way around the defense. Now, we do see another steal here from Bub, this time playing heavy again. He's swapped back into Carowinds as both teams have, or at least Olympus has adopted this scout now. Dave playing that legendary role that he was known for, both in a good and bad sense in the tournament. And we do see Fatal Best, actually, on the Necro now, giving up on the Elf, perhaps feeling that he was too pressured across the map to be able to survive. That's left him supporting Pudgy here, but he's been isolated from his medic by Evan, who's just going to take him down. Death Tag helping out, but allowing Pudgy to make it over to the flag building. Unfortunately, she does get taken down by the headshot from Trenny, and we're reaching the 10-minute mark here without any steals after those first 2 ninja caps. Now, we do see some interesting fights going on across the map as both teams try to cross through pretty contested areas. However, one player here who's not been doing all that much in the way of fighting has been Trenny. He's only now getting pressured by Wolfie in the one-on-one matchup, and Wolfie actually does take him out. Wolfie is able to then get regen and go on food court, knocking him off the map. Wolfie definitely putting in a lot of work here for CITRIX defense as he's now moved on to Mario. But Mario, however, is able to take the fight at close range with Chemist and get the kill on the ninja. Wolfie is immediately back on him and putting more damage into that Chemist as Aussie gets pressured by the rest of the team. However, it looks like they are both going to go down here eventually, as although Mario does have a lot of potions, he's unfortunately run out, and Wolfie survives and gets the kill on half a heart. Yubao does steal on the other side. The player who's been known for his offense but was playing defense, finally now on the offense for CITRIX, as we may see a bit of a dual threat if he continues this approach. I've been very excited. I was very excited to see Yubao get used on offense by CITRIX here and see what his potential was playing that role, but it looks like they've mostly employed him on defense here so far. Still a role that he's competent at, but perhaps not as exciting. What we do see here, though, is they have swapped him onto offense, and Color is now playing bulk defense. So Yubao, playing the Elf, already pressuring Trenny and knocking him out of the way as the rest of CITRIX's offense goes in. Fatal Best is taken down inside the flag room as the Necro, and Bub is being pressured pretty hard here as the soldier. However, we are going to look at Yubao, who sets down water, attempts to anyways, alongside the flag. Carowin's seemingly forgetting that Bub was still alive there and allowing him to get out, but Bub is so low, Bub is death tagged and will go down. Now, on the other side of things, we do have a steal from Justin. He's not made it outside the flag room yet, and Yami does a very nice job of mopping him up. But, you know, this has not been a boring game. I've been having to keep going with this commentary the whole time, but still no captures after those 2 initial ninja caps. Sayo here has swapped onto the Elf for the side of Olympus and made it over to the flag room. This time the Elf not being targeted soon enough for CITRIX's strategy, but will go down as he doesn't really do anything to support his team, instead just goes for the steal himself. Now that is going to allow Justin to get a steal as the rest of his team makes their way in to support him. He does have support there from food court as well, but the restore never comes through as regen doesn't quite allow Justin's health to make its way back up to 20, and he goes down due to all the pressure. Now, we do have Flays get pressured a bit across the map, but he is going to make it into the flag room here. He's on 4 health potions before Slurp takes this fight with him, but now he's been found out by both the Ninja and the Heavy. That's a losing scenario, definitely for the Chemist, but Yubao also has made his way over to the flag room. Will go down, but now Wolfie has supported here. The Frenzy does kind of miss Bub, but unfortunately Pudgy picks up while trying to support the Soldier steal, and they will both go down due to those 2 unfortunate steals from the medic. Always one of the risks, unfortunately, of bringing the medic too close to the offense is that you just pick up the flag and prevent your team from getting a good chance. Now, Sayo is going to drop the flag here, but they do have a backup steal from Mario. Mario able to try and make it to the tunnel. He does have support, but not support from a medic. So while he has made it out and made it over to food court, now there are going to be a lot of people in the way. Unfortunately, Avedis is death tagged here, and he may not be able to get the Frenzy off, but Mario has been knocked back into the flag room by all of this pressure. He does still have support from Food Court and from the rest of his team, who seemingly have won out that fight on CITRIX's side of the map, but eventually all of the pressure is going to allow Yami to get an Assassinate. That does allow an Elf steal from Sayo on the other side, but the Assassin comes right back over, and there is still so much roaming here from CITRIX. However, Sayo has found a brief window here, tries to make it out to the middle of the map, instead cuts his way back underground, and this time he doesn't really have anyone in front of him. Rave trying to put some webs down to stop the Elf, and now the offense coming over. Fatal Best trying to get in the way of Sayo. They do briefly catch him in a web here, but Food Court, despite being on super low health, has been able to keep supporting Sayo across the map. Eventually, though, College Degree isolates him, kills him, and stops what looked like the best capture attempt this game. outside of the 2 ninja steals. Very, very nice job there from College Degree to save a capture. And on the other side of things, Crizzle is actually going to get a steal. The roaming defense here pushing up and trying to get an opportunity there for CITRIX's offense to break this stalemate. Both teams definitely looking at a lot of different approaches, as it's been difficult to keep up with all the swaps that the offenses have been making. Now, Aussie did eat a lot of pressure there on the way in. He's at 0 stakes, but the pressure he ate does allow multiple other players on Olympus's offense to get in and get a steal. Mario has actually been restored and is trying to make it out. The assassin will be respawning after the kill and may drop right on down on Mario here, but he makes it a little bit further forward, perhaps getting a boost. Unfortunately, that's going to mean that Olympus has made it pretty far across the map here, and CITRIX is now required to use their offense to get in the way. Mario holding up has allowed the Pyro to catch right back up to him, and College Degree has singled him out as well. There is a medic there, but Food Court does go down, so now the Chemist isn't going to get any further support. Beast One, however, does roam up just in time to provide a second restore here, and now it's really a losing battle for CITRIX. I think they're going to be able to get this capture unless College Degree has some heroics. In fact, the second capture does finally come through for Olympus. Mario getting a big clutch capture here. And now Color, who was on defense as heavy, is forced to try and get a steal here to give more opportunities for CITRIX. It's now a pretty desperate situation for them after that capture has come through, because they are in a position where if Olympus just is able to hold on the side of defense, they are going to be able to win the map, win the match, and that'll be that. Olympus winning a pretty competitive match if they do manage to hold on. Now, we are going to get a steal from Bub on the other side, pressured by the defense here, but he does make it out of the flag room, at least before going down to Slurp. That's going to allow Yubao to steal right down the middle, and there aren't as many people in front of him this time. However, he does get swapped back, and that's going to allow more damage to come through onto the Elf. Slurp, finally, no! Actually, Fatal Best does get a steal, but he's so low. Fatal Best is on 2 stakes, but that pickup is super clutch, and he does have regen, but he's swapped all the way across the map by Dave. Dave actually being able to swap the Elf back and prevent what looked like a certain capture as the headshot, no, the assassinate comes through from the name of Sam. Now, we do have a steal on the other side from Sayo. Sayo already managing to make it out over the middle of the map. And with the mobility that Elf has, he's going to be difficult to catch here from the rest of the team. Unfortunately, he's outrun his medic as well, so College Degree is getting a lot of damage off here. Yami able to make it close and get the assassinate, but is taken down as well. So Food Court picks up the flag, and there aren't going to be too many people in the way to stop him. This could be the absolute dagger here for Olympus as they get this second capture and give themselves a 2-cap cushion going into the last 3 minutes of the map. That may just be it, as unfortunately, not having that additional capture for CITRIX, where Fatal Best nearly was able to make it, I mean, that could just be the difference maker that prevents them from being able to claw things back. Even if they get one more capture, they're really missing that would-be Elf cap now. Now, Mario did push Avedis all the way from the flag, and he's on 0 stake right now, running over for his medic, but that may allow a bit of an opportunity here from Aussie. Unfortunately, he's going to run right into the rest of CITRIX's defense and get caught out. Mario able to take out the Pyro at the very least, and may have a ninja steal opportunity here. Sayo looks like he missed the water element down on the flag, but Aussie is able to get a steal. Now, Bub does have a steal on the other side, has gotten relatively far here, but still on 2.5 hearts and being pressured by the roaming. Death tagged and shot by the archer. That's not even a headshot. Will go down, but Fatal Best does have a steal. Now, Fatal has been very weak to the roaming ninjas, and Dave swaps him back again. This time, though, swapping him back to his team's support. The Frenzy will go off, but Fatal doesn't go down immediately. Still getting support from his team, but unfortunately the Elf just not able to tank through all of that damage. There is going to be a backup attempt here, first from Color, now from Bubdub. Bubdub does actually get the steal and get up the wall here. The Pyro not going to catch him in time, but still having taken a lot of damage. He's going to climb up the side of the wall here to try and stall for support, but I don't think it's coming. Bub does go down to damage, and Food Court has a steal on the other side. I think they've just run out of time now, as 2 captures are going to be very difficult to do without a ninja, and Food Court just holding here and waiting to pass to Justin is going to burn more time off the clock. Yami not able to get the assassinate, But while Avedis is there, any additional time burned by these Olympus steals is going to prevent CITRIX from really having a chance, even a desperate chance, to bring things back. Now, Justin has made it midway across the map, and Wolfie has gone down, so this could even be a fourth capture here for Olympus. You know, unfortunate that this breakdown is occurring right at the end of the match, but I think at this point CITRIX are just trying anything they can to get steals and get out across the map, even if that does mean sacrificing some defense. Fatal Best has made it across, but might drop to the Ninja here as he was death tagged for the start of that fight. In fact, does go down, and that should be a fourth capture here from Olympus right at the end of the map. That's going to probably be our final score here today, as Wolfie98 does get a steal, will go down, and CITRIX, even with this elf steal from Yubao, who was switched onto offense at the end of things here, is probably not going to be enough to save the day. Dave does get another swap back, and Yubao is probably going to go down to the Ninja there. With 15 seconds left, that is all but GG. CITRIX don't have enough time to get another capture, and that was a very exciting game, I think it's fair to say. A very competitive game, but still a strong showing from Olympus and a very impactful win from them. Definitely showing off some of the strengths of their newer players. Dave getting some very nice moments on that second map, including the save on Fatal Best's would-be capture. And yeah, perhaps holding off the memes for today. As for the rest of Olympics, we did see strong showings across the board. I'm going to pull up stats here for the second map, as we've reached the point where we're going to be selecting our player of the game, and I do want to give adequate consideration to the stats board. Very important. And we are going to see, notably, that the kill leader by far on that map was Aussie, who is eating a ton of pressure for the offense for Olympus. Aussie taking over 3,200 damage, getting 69 kills. Very nice, of course. And doing a lot of work on the offense there to open up chances for everyone else, even, throwers like Alaska, who happened to be playing in that game. Also notable, Trenny did get 57 kills there, playing Archer the entire game. That's a map where you don't usually see all that many kills for the Archer, but Trenny obviously doing a reasonably good job there. He was helped, I think it's fair to say, by the fact that Wolfie was not on Archer after the first portion of that game on the side for CITRIX. And that left Trenny uncontested a lot of the time, as Wolfie was often forced to either play offense or attend to other parts of the game, and Trenny was just able to get value during those windows of time. But definitely a lot of very strong players, and I'm interested to see what the other people here, our streamers, do think in the way of a player of the game, as I have a few candidates I'm looking at, but interested to see what they think. Yeah, definitely some very big moments there from Dave. Obviously, none bigger than that swap across the map. I think in terms of impact plays, he definitely had the biggest, but it really was Olympus's offense, I think, that made the difference this game. They were able to generate chances as both defenses were playing reasonably well. And I'm tempted to give it to Aussie because I saw just how much work he was doing in taking fights and forcing pressure to come to him. But there were also definitely other players on the side of Olympus's offense who did well. Justin, I think, had some good captures and some fairly clutch moments. Mario did as well, and I'm tempted to give it to either of them in addition to that. And of course, with Alaska begging for player of the game in stream chat, I think it's fair to say that we're absolutely not giving it to him.
Unfortunately, with my setup, stream did not hear my input on the MVP, but I said that Dave swaps across the maps both on defense and recovery on the flag carrier was very impressive. So I apologize for repeating that a second time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he definitely did have some very big clutch moments on map 2, and maybe in the spirit of redeeming players here, I think I'm okay with awarding Dave player of the match. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to go with. Dave's going to get player of the game, and that'll be that. So very exciting match between Olympus and CITRIX. We did have I believe it was a 2-0 first map and a 4-1 second map, with CITRIX only able to get one ninja capture the entire way across. They did definitely generate a lot of chances and put up a good fight, I think it's fair to say, but maybe some more stuff to work on for them going forward. Very strong showing from Olympus, and very good job to them. So I think that'll wrap up our broadcast for tonight. Very exciting game, and I hope you all enjoyed it, despite my commentary. So,
Thank you for clutching.
yeah. Hope you guys have a good day, and we'll see you around for the next